That 60-minute segment that CBS pulled seemingly to protect the Trump administration, it's now been leaked online, right? Because for whatever reason, even though the newly installed editor-in-chief Bari Weiss pulled the segment, it ended up airing on Canada's global TV app, so people then quickly recorded it before it got pulled again. And when you watch it, you end up understanding why a Trump ally would want this pulled. Right in it, two Venezuelan men who were deported to El Salvador described being beaten, tortured, assaulted, and deprived of food, water, and sleep. One explaining that they were forced to kneel for 24 hours, and if they weren't, they were taken to a place called the Island, which was a pitch black room with no ventilation. And on the island, he says that they were beaten every half hour and kept for days while guards pounded on the door with their sticks to traumatize them. And while Bari Weiss's excuse for pulling the segment is that it didn't include interviews or comments from Trump administration officials, in the actual segment, the reporter Sharon Alfonsi says that DHS declined the request for an interview and referred any questions to El Salvador's government, which didn't respond. Though with that, I'll say, according to Axios, they say that a source familiar with the matter said that the White House, State Department, and DHS did provide comments of varying length and substance to CBS, but none of those were included in the segment. Also, another complaint that Weiss has is that the piece mentions how many of the deportees had criminal histories and convictions for violent crimes, but not how many were charged. But then that brings up the question of if Weiss actually watched the segment, right? Because Alfonsi clearly states that 70 men had pending criminal charges in the US, which could include immigration violations, and that DHS has never released a full list of the men and their criminal histories. Also very weird, Weiss claimed that the segment doesn't explain the White House's legal justification for sending the men there, but literally 10 seconds into the segment, Alfonsi does that. The Weiss apparently thinks that the explanation wasn't thorough enough and that there should be a, quote, genuine debate about whether the deportations were legal. But hey, let me know your thoughts and reactions in those comments, share to spread the word, and follow to stay in the loop.